Thanks.
Wow, so big story developing down in the pits. We'll close the loop on that as the race evolves here as Matt McKeldin takes the lead at the restart here from Steve Wilson. We saw Kim Jane behind the wheel of car 3 for the previous couple of rounds. This is the car that Wilson debuted earlier this year. Your mouth's wide open. What's your take on that?
Well, it's wide open for 2 reasons, because that move from Matt McKeldin on Steve Wilson around the outside at turn 1 was pretty cool. But also, Brett Peters wasn't mincing his words in any respect, was he? And to be honest, looking at it, it looked...
Oh, more going on here now for Wilson. He was tagged going down to the middle.
As well.
Yes. So it's all on. It's a car park on the right-hand side with Charlotte Pointing in the mix as well. That was happening at the top of Watt Street. And now for the second time, the Vodafone safety car will come out. Goodness me, Cedars arrives on the scene hot with waved yellows as well.
Yeah, that's really disappointing for me to see Mick Cedars come around the corner with that amount of momentum on when clearly the double wave yellows were flying for quite some time.
That's not a smile from Luke Cedars.
No, nor should it be. And, to the point where Steve Wilson had his arms out the window, waving, gesturing. So let's have a look at this. It's in the background. That's Craig Woods, the 64, who's in this championship battle, making contact with the back of Wilson's car. At that point, Wilson has no control. He's just being turned around effectively. All the weight on the left rear of that car has unloaded it, spun him around. Very lucky to not make contact with that inside wall, but it has spun him to the outside and into Craig Woods. Now, there's a bit of damage there. Has that pushed Woods into the concrete barrier as well? And unfortunately for Charlotte Pointing in the 52, she's got nowhere to go at this point, and Steve Wilson rolling back in front of her.
Oh, she got Tom Alexander as well.
Nowhere to go because Tom Alexander was on the left-hand side, and that's where that contact was.
The D-Max was slow.
How's Aaron Russell in the background there doing an absolutely brilliant job to not run smack into the back of Charlotte Pointing's car. So here's another angle.
Coming across the top. That's what caused the bottleneck. And then the Hilux just got the edge of the D-Max. We were lucky not to have a bigger incident down there. It's big enough. And then Mick Cedars would arrive on the scene about 10 seconds after this. Here it is now from the in-car of the Penrith Toyota Hilux of Craig Woods. So there is the D-Max on the right-hand side. It was pedestrian-like on the exit. Just moved across on him.
And it's awkward, to be honest. That shot there, for me, tells a bigger story than anything. So Steve Wilson, he was on the outside of the circuit, and he did the same thing on the run-up to turn 2, almost playing the safety